Hey everyone, Brian Albert from IGN here, alongside Sean Finnegan.
Hello, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
We are going to look at some Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer gameplay.
Yeah, this is Arena.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Arena on
Arena,
Fathom.
yes. Not the Warzone, not the massive, what was that, 24 players?
12v12,
yeah, not that. This is a 4v4 CTF match on Fathom. It's this underground facility. I'm not sure exactly where it fits in with the lore, but there's a giant fish swimming outside, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny because Ryan was like, yeah, let's do a commentary on that underwater map. And I was like, wait, underwater map? And then I realized after looking at this, yeah, this facility is actually underwater.
Yeah, and this is you playing, right?
Yeah, this is my gameplay. It's you and I had the privilege of going to the Halo 5 preview event in San Francisco like last week. We got to play a whole bunch of stuff. This is one of the maps that we got to play, and man, it was awesome.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the map?
So,
or the game mode? I mean, CTF's not exactly a new thing. It's been around for, decades.
Yeah. Well, that's something that's great about it. Is like we all know what Capture the Flag is, but there's something special about Halo Capture the Flag, right? Like it can get so intense when, they've got your flag, you've got their flag, and it's like this brutal battle where you're trying to fight just to the death and get their flag carrier down right before you score yours. And there's some really intense matches like right here in the flag room. Yeah, it's just classic Halo, man.
And if you're the carrier, you're just like hiding in a corner. You're like, guys, go kill them.
Yeah,
like,
you're
get
just
the flag back.
Yeah, you'll certainly see a couple times in this match, like I'll capture the flag and I'm standing right there on our point. And I'm just like waiting for my teammate to take down their flag carrier so that I can score it. And man, it's really intense.
Yeah, and it was really good. So one thing in Halo 5 that they've kind of it's sort of like their design philosophy is they want to make it faster. You can sprint unlimitedly. You can kind of boost to the sides. There's ground pounds and all kinds of crazy stuff. Did you find that mobility changed how Capture the Flag felt?
Drastically. I would say that the new Spartan abilities really do speed up the gameplay exponentially. But what's great about that is it's not a bad thing. It still feels like Halo. The Spartans feel faster, stronger, more capable, but you're still equally matched. It's still about controlling power weapons, having good strategy and great teamwork, especially in a mode like this. And that's just classic Halo to me. I've always said I feel like Halo 5's multiplayer and movement is a natural evolution of what Halo has always been. And right at its core is that Halo 1, Halo 2 DNA.
One thing I want to clarify here, I've seen some confusion a little bit online. These new requisition packs that are in the Warzone mode that let you drop weapons in vehicles, that's not in Arena mode.
Yes.
I mean, there are cosmetic things you can apply, but gameplay advantages do not carry into Arena.
Right. 343 has been pretty adamant about making sure that the small-sided 4v4 Halo is classic Arena battle as it's always been. No sort of loadouts, like you said, no weapon drops. There are customizability options and stuff, things that you can unlock, but that's really cosmetic, as you said. Does not affect the gameplay at all. Everything that you're doing here is just how well do you control the power weapons, how well do you beat people in firefights, and how well do you work with your team.
Nice. Yeah, I was playing... we were kind of mixing up teams a little bit, but there was a point near the end of the night where there was a very good team and a very bad team, and it did not shuffle at all. And I was just like, I'm out of here. I think this might have been at the point where it was still pretty close.
Yeah, so this match is a close match. I won't spoil the ending for anyone. You're going to want to stay until the end. But this is a really intense one, and I'm a huge Destiny player. I'm a big competitive shooters, especially on consoles guy. I play a ton of Counter-Strike Go, but there's still something not quite like Halo, and now that I've gotten my hands on it and have spent a lot more time with it, I played 25 hours of the beta. I simply can't wait for this to come out. And I'm interested in Warzone, but really I'm looking forward to what am I going to be able to do in an arena. And can I climb these ladders? Who's my fire team going to be? How am I going to be playing this? How is it going to be competitive for me?
Yeah, I was at the event with you. I love Arena mode. It is classic Halo for sure. They nailed that feel. We'll talk about it a little more later, but I actually really preferred the Warzone mode, which is a strange thing for me. But that's a different story for a different place.
Yeah, it's a change of pace, but this is just to me this is Halo at its best. You're trying it's I don't know. It's the memories that I have of 4v4 on Damnation and Hang 'em High back in Halo 1 and stuff. Classic Halo to me.
Yeah, so this map, Fathom, how do you feel? You played the classic Halo. Maybe, would you say 2 is the golden age? I think 2 or 3 tends to be kind of the answer for that.
Yeah, I think...
Does this remind you of that, the map design?
Oh, yeah. So I think the maps so far, of the ones that we've played, have been really, really cool. Intricately designed, not only just from an art and design standpoint, but just, balance standpoint, like they're very simple in their layout, which makes it great for competitive multiplayer, because there's nothing more difficult than wanting to play something competitively and then just not being able to figure out what the call-outs are, or not being able to be like, well, I saw that guy, but I can't tell my teammate where he is, because what is that thing that he's standing next to? You know, there's our flag room, there's their flag room, there's mid, there's floor mid, and then there's this one ramp that kind of extends across the top where the railgun is, and that's basically it. It's kind of like a nice, even and symmetrical map with a building in the middle. And it's like, when the maps are that simple, it really allows for people to take like their movement, to make their movement and their positioning the skillful part of it, instead of just like map knowledge, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I mean, I'm not a level designer, but there are a few things that seem like good fundamentals in almost all maps. And one of them is that you kind of have to expose yourself to go get a power weapon, at least in how Halo plays. Or not just a weapon, but an ability. I think in the middle of this map there's an active camouflage you can pick up, but you really have to run out there and make yourself a target. Yeah,
for sure. And the active camo, it's not quite as effective as it used to be. Like, people remember the Halo 1 and 2 where like you were impossible to see if you had active camo.
Yeah, I think especially 1 was pretty bad about that.
Yeah, 1 was, and that was when we were all playing on like these old TVs. Like, it was even harder to see.
And we were all on like Blood Gulch.
Yeah, exactly,
so,
where everyone was like very far away. Yeah, on this it's a little like, I don't know if it's this map specifically, but there is a part during the night where like someone had a active camo and was camping on the railgun, and I saw him from like a mile away, and he didn't think I could see him, and I just ran up to him and bailed him.
Talking about.
Yeah, so a railgun this is a classic from, I mean, this was in Halo 4, and I actually really like the railgun. It's a charged shot. Basically, if you hit someone with it, it's a one-shot kill, but it takes a second to charge, and if you miss, like, it takes a long time to reload. So
yeah, it's definitely really skill-based. I had a lot of trouble hitting, like, you know, vehicles is one thing. That's easy. But hitting a person that can move and, like, bolt to the side really quickly, I just had a tough time, and we're gonna kind of expand a little bit here. I just think a lot of first-person shooters these days are all about like mobility. Halo's one of them, but it's not alone. How do you feel using like precision weapons, like snipers or charge weapons, in the arena where everyone is moving so quickly? Have you felt like, oh, it's harder to snipe in general, or anything like that? We're expanding here a little bit.
No, that's actually a great question, because like I'm sure it does impact the gameplay having all this speed, but actually I think that for me personally, it doesn't actually impact your aim all that. Like, it just forces you to be a little bit more aware and to be a little bit more anticipatory, right? Like, if you see someone, you know that as soon as they start taking fire, if you don't one-shot them, their instinct is to boost. And I'm sure you did it as well, but you see me boosting around all over the place here. Like, it's great for getting away from grenades. If someone gets the jump on you in a battle rifle, it's great to boost around a corner. Like, you have to now compensate for that when you're sniping or when you're aiming with the battle rifle. Like, you know that that's coming. You have to be aware, and you have to plan your strategy for combating that. And it just adds a level of depth. Like, I actually think it improves the gameplay.
Yeah, I do too. It took me a while to get used to it, because you use your boost and then, like, oh, like, it's down for a couple seconds, and, you know, you're constantly like, well, do I use it to get out of the way of this grenade, or should I save it, or, I don't know, I like it. It's just I like having to make a lot of decisions when I'm playing.
Yeah, me too, and they're not, like, overly complex decisions, which is great. Like, as any shooter should be, the decisions you're making are really gameplay focused, like, what is the maximum amount, or what is like the quickest thing that I can execute some move? Oh, this is that part where I wreck with the railgun, because they're all trying to get on the flag. And I'm just like, I have the high ground, I have a power weapon, like, you are all dead.
That's really good.
Yeah. But that's kind of the decision making that I like to be doing too when I'm making when I'm playing a shooter, is like, it's small decisions that make a big difference in the game. Like, oftentimes if you don't get one kill, that's that one guy who's going to save their flag carrier, you know?
Yep. One of the things, I don't think we've seen it yet, and maybe we don't, but there's little tweaks in the game that competitive players are going to use. Like, there's really cool stylish assassinations, but you can turn them off.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Because it's definitely a detriment to you to keep them on.
It is, yeah, because the animation is long. I did use them just because, they're cool. I kind of like the...
Well, we were there just testing it out, too.
Yeah, like, we're there not just to play and evaluate like the preview build of the game, but it's also to like get a sense of the overall sort of what's coming in the game type stuff. So I kept them on. I think for competitive play, yeah, I would turn that stuff off because an extra 2 or 3 seconds on a melee animation is not something I need. It exposes me out there, and while it looks really, really cool, and I do believe you get style points for everything you do, when the game is close, an extra 2 or 3 seconds out in the open while you're just being like, yeah, look at me punch this guy in the face, it's gonna ruin it for you. You're gonna die. You know, you're gonna get shot by skilled players. I love that I thought that was a window right there. I was like, oh, that's bouncing back at me.
You'll learn the map.
Yeah. That's what I love too. That's what I'm really excited though about is like it's easy to kind of grasp these the map layout and the fundamentals, but like as you get to play it more and more, like any great shooter, you'll become a master of it, right? Like I think that's what great shooters are, is like easy to get into, hard to master. And I feel like that's what they're really striving for with these maps. It's like there's probably a lot of little things that I'm not doing that I could be doing that I'll learn in playing the map more.
Looks like you guys are ahead here with not a lot of time left in the game.
Oh yeah.
2-1. I don't remember how this one turns out. I'm pretty sure I was on the red team. I was not on your team because I think I remember losing a close game.
Yeah. So again, don't want to spoil anything, but yes, this does end up being a very close game. Maybe not deservedly so. Like I think at this point in the match, I was getting pretty frustrated. I was like, wait, how is this tied? Like we've been wrecking this whole time, but you know that's Halo for you, right?
Yeah.
Like with equivalently skilled teams, like it's on any given Sunday, right? Like you can win or lose.
So this was like a special preview event. The game's going to come out in October, not too long from now.
Yeah.
Did you think any of the weapons felt overpowered or in need of some tuning?
No, but at the same time, like I didn't get my hands on every single weapon. There's a lot of weapons in this game, especially like when you get to Warzone, where you can requisition all sorts of weapons, and they're all very situational depending on what you're doing in that map or in that mode. I didn't get the sense that anything was overpowered. What I really liked was that they toned down the SMG. In Halo 4, it was just as good as the assault rifle, but that's his
win.
Yeah.
Yep, that's. I'm on this losing team if they show the picture. Oh, they don't, do they? Well, there we go. That's your first look at Capture the Flag on Fathom on Halo 5. We're going to have more coming. We're going to have more from Warzone. We already have some stuff about the campaign, right? Is that correct?
We do. Campaign stuff is live on IGN right now.
First Skull is up.
Yes.
A bunch of Skull details. Yeah. So check it out. And we're going to have a ton more leading up to Halo's launch in late October. So for more on Halo, you're already here in the right place at IGN.